Okay, Islam, Islam, Islam. We are here, we are here, we are here for 30 minutes, more or less. Islam to all the Moors on this most joyous and happy holy day. Today is Friday, April the 11th already, 2025. And I'm here, trying to remain disciplined and steadfast, and I try to be here on IG Live each Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So Moors will have something to consider over the weekend and or discuss with their leadership and congregation at Temple, because Allah willing, I'll be done by 7 p.m., right? So I'm just going to jump right into this because I have things to do. It's been quite a week. I don't know about y'all, but my week is I had all these plans and then Allah laughed heartily. I'll just put it like that. So I'm playing catch up and I'm trying to get everything done before sunset because the only one that works all the time is a coolie. All right. I'm starting to see that there's a lot of wisdom and benefits to listening to the prophecies and hadith of Noble Drew Ali stripped out. All right. So as usual, I have my notes because why? I respect your time. All right. So we might be progressing through this kind of swiftly, right? Because I really do have stuff to do. So first thing I want to bring up is the Moorish Meetup. Okay. Thursday, Truth, Peace, Freedom, Justice Tour 2025. First leg of it in Phoenix, Arizona from May 9th, Friday, May 9th through Saturday, May 10th. It's going to be packed, jam-packed. The itinerary is up now at riseofthemoors.org or com/Phoenix Fire, right? And before I continue, for those who don't know, I am Sister Tahida S. Najiullah L. of CalifaMedia.com, riseofthemoors.org and com, mrcicharities.org and com, and certifiedmoorish.org and com. Califa Media isn't I won't go into that. But anyway, right, I do a lot of things on behalf of the nation. I do not part-time this. I got my good, very, very good European education. I wasn't trying to do it. I was just very fortunate. So yeah, I'm using it for the benefit of the nation, right? But anyway, so back to the Moorish Meetup. That's this upcoming May, right? It's a little less than a month away. So if you plan on going, you got plenty of time to get cheap tickets because right now everybody's suffering, right? The U.S. economy is collapsing around us before our eyes. And I just read something where because of all this stuff, people are just sitting tight. They don't know what to do next. And luxuries get hit first, right? I'm like, okay, depending on what you mean by luxury. Apparently, in these days and times, taking a flight is a luxury, right? And so they're like, the prices are down. If you want to go, this is a good time to do it. It's anything related to travel, this is a good time to do it. Especially with the weather the way it is. If it keeps up like this, Arizona will be a good place to be in May, right? That's like the perfect time too, because it's right when it gets before the heat becomes unbearable. It's right around that time. So we'll be there. Full itinerary is on certified. Must be a reason I keep saying certified. The full itinerary is on riseofthemoors.org, or you can get to it from califamedia.com. All right. So that's that, right? Islam. So I want to get into some other stuff while I have the energy. Certified Moorish Business Setup and Networking. All right. If you haven't heard, certifiedmoorish.org and com. You can go to either one. They both work. You can also get to it through Rise of the Moors because Certified Moorish is like a Rise of the Moors project, right? This version of the Moors Rising is through business. Eventually, I guess it'll branch off into some other things like, I don't know, art, construction, that kind of thing. So right now it's just business. And I saw it come up this week that people are saying, where's all our stuff? Where's our where, right? And I don't know what's going on. Instead of asking where, are you doing your research to find out what you can do to solve your own problem? Because in my experience, when I look for a way to fix my own problem, instead of asking somebody else where it is, which I'm not sure why they should be responsible for fixing my problem, that kind of thing. So instead of saying, where is it? I go look for it. Next thing I know, I might stumble upon somebody who's already doing it. So Certified Moorish has been up for quite a minute. Actually, it feels like a minute, but it might only have been a month. So much has been going on. But it's there, right? Available for anybody who's interested in setting up a business in the United States. If you want to set up a business somewhere else, I'd be willing to work with you to do that, but I'm not going to do the research for you. I'll give you everything you need to do to get that set up as a structure in your jurisdiction type of thing. So yeah, that's offered, right? Because here we go again. So Mr. Trump, I'm not going to belabor this. Mr. Trump is he's juggling with the United States economy. I'm enjoying the show personally. So he's messing with the economy. And if you were listening last week or the week before, I mentioned how every time a Moor shows interest in setting up a business, from what I can see, because of course there's things that I can't see what's going on behind me right now, right? But from what I can see, every time a Moor shows interest in business, I see more bad news about the United States economy come across my stream. I love it. I'm enjoying the show. So yesterday, I sold two. I think I sold two. Right? Sold as they actually purchased it. Thank you, Moors, for your support and your patronage, because it's freeing me up to get ready to bring something else out to y'all. And I'm like, okay, I sold two yesterday. I'm just trying to see if I see any patterns. Last time I sold three, the stock market tanked because it was the day before Trump announced his tariffs were going to take an effect. It was on a Wednesday, and his tariffs took effect on a Thursday, that kind of thing. And then you woke up on Friday and the markets were tanking, right? I'm like, okay, I hope this is a pattern. Let me just watch and see what I see. And then, like I said, yesterday, two were sold, right? And I'm hearing news that, okay, he reversed course because he's juggling. And I'm just like, I can't wait to see how this turns out, because like I just mentioned at the top of this, listen to Drew Ali's prophecies. There's like a lot of wisdom up in there. Like the part about the whole world turning against the United States, right? I'm looking at a lot of his prophecies, and it's really cool because they like paraphrase and put into modern jargon or lingo what's in the Bible. I'm gonna get into that in a second. It's really cool, right? So don't endanger yourself with a fool. That's Revelations. Come out of her, my people. Okay. One day, the whole world is going to turn against the United States. I found that in Revelations too. It's like, oh, see what I found if I just kept going. So last week, or the mission statement of Certified Moorish is the text of Revelations 18 verses 4 through 5. That's our mission statement. Come out of her, my people, because these folks about to get caught up, and you don't want to get caught up with them, right? So you need to be setting your own table, just like Drew Ali, setting your own table while these pigs are gorging themselves, thinking that this meal is going to go on forever, right? We need to be setting up our own stuff. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be comparable to them. It just has to be started, that kind of thing. And, there must be balance. As we rise, there must be balance, right? I don't want anybody to get hurt. I really don't. But I do believe in justice, and I hope everybody gets what they deserve, that kind of thing. So, back to the two that I sold yesterday. And then I'm like, okay, he flip-flopped, and the markets went up or whatever. Even though he flip-flopped on Friday, but the markets went up a little bit on Friday. And I'm like, okay, what's today? I don't know. I can't keep up with these days, all right? Anyway, so the markets went back up a little bit, but I'm just like, I got a feeling this ain't gonna stick. Sure enough, I'm watching my notifications in my feed, and it's saying that the reason why he reversed course, it wasn't the stock market that did it. It was the bonds market. The bonds market, you know how they say the debt, right? The thing that keeps the United States, if I understand this correctly, because I am not a financial person, I don't like this stuff. It's very artificial for artificial people, right? Fake nation. I don't even think they're human, personally. The people that created this stuff, I don't think they're humans. But you're a fake nation because you're not supposed to be here. So I'm not really into this artificial stuff. But, you need to know what's going on. Know your enemy type of thing. So I'm just looking at it like, oh, okay, so this bond market is what's keeping the United States basically, it's like you don't even have on a full life preserver. You just got this thing around your neck keeping your head from going under. Because these other nations buying United States bonds keeps them from completely going just like unable to operate. The tax dollars ain't doing it. All the money they're stealing from the people is also not supposed to be here. But these foreign investments are keeping the United States afloat. And Japan, you know, they like, skip all this. We can't afford this. They start dumping their stocks. And then, you know, Japan is like, they're very loyal. I don't know why. They're cordial. They're cooperative with the United States, right? For good reason. But anyway, so they start dumping theirs. And they like, how dare you dump your stocks after we put like a 38% tariff on you? How dare you hit me? How dare you say ow when I hit you? Basically, that's what's going on. And so they start selling off their stuff like, we ain't taking this. We're not going to do business with y'all because this ain't going to be worth nothing anyway. We getting rid of ours. Everybody's like, you know what? That's their good best friend. If they selling, it's like when Elon Musk's brother sold his stock in Tesla. What you about to do? Right? So everybody else starts selling. Trump like, hold up. Reverse 90-day freeze. Right? They didn't even last. What, he passed it Thursday? I'm looking at my calendar. Thursday, Friday, the stock market tanked. Right? This is a week later. So he backtracked. I think it was a day and a half ago or 2 days ago. He backtracked on it. And I'm looking at it today like it hasn't done anything. The stock market is still in the red. It's still tanking. Right? Why? Oh, look at that. Spain is trying to figure out how to make a deal with China. Oh, look at that. India is making a deal with Vietnam. Oh, look at that. Everybody's trying to figure out how to do business with each other so they don't have to do business with you anymore. The whole world is going to turn against the United States. And I'm just like, this is beautiful, right? I wish more Moors would start businesses. Even if you don't want to do it through certified Moorish, because I'm setting up a network so we can start, hiving, building that beehive type of thing. Let's cooperate. Let's feed off each other. Let's all get fat. Big spoons, right? So it's a networking thing, but you can do it on your own. Just please do something to how do I want to put this? Do something to invest in yourself and your independence, right? To start small. I wonder if people think we have to do what they doing. No, you don't. I'm thinking, okay, what were these people doing when they first got over here? They were setting up little shops of as much as they themselves could handle of whatever they were really good at. And sometimes usually enjoy. Do that, right? Just do something. Because look at, what was that? Can't even remember. That thing, that protest in all 50 states and around the world. Do you even know what I'm talking about? Probably not, because none of us were there to give it energy. So I wonder what will happen if we take that same energy away from their, what is it called? What is it called? There's communism, socialism, capitalism. The worst one of all, right? It's just a nice way to say slavery. It really is, right? So anyway, and I couldn't help but be like, wow, Drew Ali, he called it again, or reminded us of it again, however you want to look at it. Because like I said, it's almost like his hadith and prophecies paraphrase and reduce it succinctly what's in the Bible and in a lot of scriptures, actually, right? Especially Revelations 18, 9 through 20. I'm gonna read that to y'all real quick in case you don't know it. So with what's going on with the United States right now, and as far as all these nations around the world being like, we're done with you, right? Panicking, just being like dumping stuff off. Who knows what's going on? They say it's Trump, right? But who knows? Who knows, right? So Revelations 18, 9 through 20. Because my thing is, if we do Revelations 18, 4 through 5, come out of her, my people, the result will be Revelations 18, 9 through 20, which is, when the kings of the earth who committed adultery with her and shared her luxury see the smoke of her burning, they will weep and mourn over her. Terrified at her torment, they will stand off and cry, woe, woe to you, great city, you mighty city of Babylon. In 1 hour, your doom has come. How long did it take for that market to fall? Right? The merchants of the earth. Why do people come here? Opportunity equals looting and pillaging and stealing, right? The merchants of the earth will weep and mourn over her because no one buys their cargoes anymore. Cargoes of gold, silver, precious stones and pearls, fine linen, purple, silk, and scarlet cloth, every sort of citron wood, and articles of every kind made of ivory, wood, or costly wood, bronze, iron, and marble. Cargoes of cinnamon and spice, of incense, myrrh, and frankincense, of wine and olive oil, and fine flour and wheat, cattle and sheep, horses and carriages, and humans being sold as slaves. No more for you. That's what I heard. They will say, the fruit you longed for is gone from you. All your luxury and splendor have vanished, never to be recovered. The merchants who sold these things, all these foreigners, right? The merchants who sold and sending their anchors and tethers over here. The merchants who sold these things and gained their wealth from her will stand far off, terrified at her torment. They will weep and mourn and cry out, woe, woe to you, great city, dressed in fine linen, purple and scarlet, and glittering with gold, precious stones, and pearls. In 1 hour, such great wealth has been brought to ruin. Every sea captain, all who travel by ship. How does everything get here? Every sea captain, all who travel by ship, the sailors, and all who earn their living from the sea, will stand far off. When they see the smoke of her burning, they will exclaim, was there ever a city like this great city? Will they throw dust on their heads and with weeping? Oh, they will throw dust on their heads and with weeping and mourning cry out, woe, woe to you, great city, where all who had ships on the sea became rich through her wealth. All that raping. In 1 hour, she has been brought to ruin. Breakfast fight. Takes about an hour to finish breakfast, right? Something just jumped in my head. Rejoice over her, you heavens. Rejoice, you people of God. Rejoice, apostles and prophets. Apostles and prophets. For God has judged her in the judgment she imposed on you. With the judgment she imposed on you. Yeah. Right? So the invaders who are currently screaming, buy American, right? Everybody's saying buy American all of a sudden. I say, put yourself in a position to make that a joint reality, right? American means American. Just like if I was in China and there was Mr. O'Malley trying to sell something, made in China would not be coming from him unless there's no made in China to access, right? So I'm saying, hey, find your path by being yourself. And why do I say being yourself? That gets me into the last part, 18 minutes. I'm about to be done early tonight. Yay. Thank you, everybody who's been paying attention and listening. I hope you're getting something out of this. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that this message may be spread widely to assist in our mission to normalize Moorish. So, being yourself, okay? Because I have a feeling this is about to become an issue and something we need to be skilled at. All right. Little background about me. If you don't know, my name is Tahida S. Najiola L. Right. That is my real name. That's the name that my parents gave me. I didn't pick that, whatever. I had to go through life with this name all of my life. Right. Including in going to elementary school with a whole bunch of good Christians, good Black Christians, all right, in Chicago. And I was born in the 70s. So the generation I was with was like a half and half mixture of, I want to say natives, as in your people been here, right? Versus the migrants, where your people came up in the great migrations from down south. I was part of the first generation born in Chicago from a whole bunch of migrants. My sister and I are the only ones who weren't like born down south, all right, or raised down there for any point in time. So anyway, so then not only am I a transplant, right, so to speak, even though I was born there, and I look just like you. I'm walking around with the name Tahida, okay, Najiola, okay. So from as early as I can remember, I'm always explaining what that is, why I have that name, and why I'm not a Christian. Now, and I used to have to defend Islam. At least I got that part out the way. it's like, ha, I was right. Or, ha, I was doing it right. Not that I was right, because I was being made to do all this stuff. And the messed up part of it was, I don't know if they meant to do this, but my parents, I grew up with my mother and my father who were married and living in the same house, right? My parents did nothing, absolutely nothing to help my sister and I to deal with this, right? We would, I guess, in their defense, it's like, well, I guess, you used to be Joanne and you still carry or whatever, but you both changed your name to Nagiola. You got to be dealing with that, but you're adults, right? You're defending something that you know the reason behind. I don't know why you did all this, right? Because even if you told me I'm like 4 or 5 years old, I don't understand it. I just know you're telling me to do it, and I'm going to defend it. I'm going to defend it because I don't know why, but something here is telling, even though it's hard and I don't get it and you ain't helping me, something here is telling me this is worth defending. This needs to be defended, all right? Fast forward 40 years. No, I'll take that back. Fast forward, I'll say 23 years, right? 23 years, and it's like, yay, I found the Moors who, like, instead of what's Islam, they're greeting me with Islam. I don't have to explain anything to you, right? Wow, your name is Tahita? You know what that means? Yes, I do. Do you? Yeah, ba. I didn't know that part. And now it's like, cool, who I am, being myself, turns out it was correct. Now here comes the last piece. It's like being a vegetarian, right? At least in my experience. I was able to give up everything except chicken. That was the last thing I had to give up. So now I'm on my chicken. My chicken is, and probably yours too, is Moorish, being a Moor, right? I'm finding lately, and it's kind of increasing, where others are trying to tell us who we are supposed to be, not who we are. That's kind of like fading off. Praise Allah. Thank you. I guess there must be enough of us talking about this where nobody's trying to be like, no, you not. At least I'm not encountering that as much. I still am, but not nearly as much, right? Now I'm encountering, that's not what a Moor is supposed to act like. That's not what a Moor is. And I'm sitting here thinking, first of all, you're not a Moor. Okay, so you still on that thing where you really think you get to tell me who I am. Can I do that to you? Then, where was the last time you saw a Moor? Where was the last time a Moor saw a real Moor? As far as I know, the oldest Moor is like Taj. They're like him and Raj and all that generation. Those are the oldest ones. And it's not that many of them. And they don't act like what I would think a Moor would act like. Because when I think Moor, I'm thinking I'm thinking of what wasn't destroyed from the Moorish occupation of Iberia, right? So because I wish we had the records to what happened over here. I guess the Bible is it. But other than that, what happened? I know there has to be a whole bunch of history. Maybe it's better we don't know it because we're going through something because of what that history is. I digress. Anyway, so I'm just like, okay, I'm not dealing with people saying you're not a Moor. They're trying to tell me what a Moor is. And I'm sitting here like, this is a great opportunity. I love opportunities. What is a Moor? Really, what is a Moor in these modern times? What's a Moor? Well, since we don't have nothing to refer to, can I really do it wrong? I'm not asking you, person that's never been a Moor, who is not descendant from Moors, or worse yet, I'll get into that in a second. Me personally, I'm approaching that, again, going back to the prophet's wisdoms. Moors, be yourself. If I be myself, whoever I am when nobody's in the room, Moors, be yourself. That's what a Moor is. I'm a Moor, all right? I know I'm a Moor. So that's what a Moor is. Moors, be yourself. Oh, well, you're abrasive. That was mean. Oh, you didn't have to put it that way, but that's what a Moor is. You don't get to tell me what a Moor is. Why are you doing that? Why are you trying to tell me what a Moor is? It can't just be because you think you get to. What makes you have the nerve to think you can tell me to define me, right? You wouldn't do that to anybody else. Would you dare, Chinaman, try to define a Hindu man? Would you dare Europe's peon try to define, I don't know, a Japanese guy? You wouldn't dare, but you think you get to define me, right? I bring this up because I don't like to refer to Instagram because I think it's kind of immature, right? Like all my posts, I don't get these likes and counts. And anyway, somebody made a comment. And I thought this is a great teaching moment, right? So I, as a Moor, posted something saying, Moors, my people, need to grow up. Whenever, I should put this as a disclaimer on everything I make. I'm not interested in what these other people are doing. I figured you have enough people interested in your stuff, all right? So my focus, I'm never talking to anybody else. Unless I speak like Caucasians. Unless they specifically say everybody was included in the population for this, they're not talking about everybody. They're only talking about themselves. Same thing, right? I think I will put that out there. I'm not talking to y'all. What makes you think I'm talking to you? I'm a Moor dressed as a Moor talking to Moors. What makes you think I'm talking to you? Because I'm guessing you thinking I'm talking to you because you're talking to me. So this individual said they agreed with what I said, that Moors need to grow up and start businesses, right? But they went on talking about, yeah, they don't have no discipline, they this, they that, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, okay, your handle is you're a Brazilian. Okay, I'm going to approach this as somebody who don't know no better because they had keepers, not parents. I can say what I want to say about my people. You cannot. If I was Chinese, you wouldn't have said nothing. If I was a Chinese person coming on here talking about Chinese people need to stop eating cats and dogs, who else would chime in on that that's not Chinese and not expect to have their skin removed via words? Justifiably, right? But for whatever reason, you seem to think that you can do it to me. So let me check you thoroughly so that I don't have to go through it again. And anybody that you encounter calling themselves a Moor won't have to go through it again unless you take the chance of dealing with another of this, getting some more of this, right? And I got plenty of it. And I'm willing to give. I love to share, right? So I don't get it, right? From the historical perspective, I get it. You all are just used to us being able to tell us who we are, right? And I don't know what it is. Why are you coming over here? Black people, they don't mind being called black. Why are you coming over here? Actually, like I said, I'm not dealing with that anymore. It's not that black people are saying you black, you from Africa. I'm not even getting that anymore. It's saying that this is how Moors are supposed to act, right? It's really crazy. So I'm like, okay, it can't be the historical thing, even though I kind of get how it could. But by that, I mean, I get how it could because you probably either know who we were in history or you have a feeling of who we were in history. And you're not trying to go back to that. Because back then, we were like, I guess we were acting the way these billionaires and multimillionaires are acting right now. Why does this thing look like this? Who didn't use their bossing up for what? Well, yeah, this thing ain't working. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know how to use this thing. Cause like I said, I'm not on here this much cause I have stuff to do, but I'm trying to see something. But anyway, let me not digress. The historical thing. I get it. You don't want us back on top because of what we were doing to people when we were back on top. I get it. But then there's this other part, right? Maybe, I'm just saying maybe, you think we're supposed to be the behavior that seems to be a problem with a lot of people, right? The behavior that seems to be a problem is how Moors talk to people. Like they can be they can be abrasive, a lot abrasive, acrimonious. Look that word up, right? For good reason. Epigenetics is a thing. I don't know about y'all, but I can personally feel my ancestors' pain. Maybe because I'm a woman and it's like it's kind of intense and I feel it all the time. So if I come off angry, it's because I'm processing some stuff constantly, right? And trying not to lash out. I really am. So I'm wondering if you're telling me we're not supposed to be acting like that because you see God and that's not how you thought God would act. Does that make sense? You don't want to admit it. I can understand why, right? But it's like, you obviously don't know what Moors are, right? And you're not saying that I'm black. You're not even arguing with me about the Moorish part. You're just saying I'm not supposed to be acting like that because I'm a Moor. So my thing is, I'm just going to go and presume that You think I am, you think I'm something that I probably was back in a long time ago, but this is today, right? It's just like, okay, those people that built those Benin bronzes, the Beninians are still there, but those aren't the same people. They've like, whatever, they've been through some stuff, and those aren't the same people, even though genetically, yeah, they are. So, right. Like I said, that's the problem with them. The Moors of those days are not the Moors of today, right? These Moors have been chasing over multiple centuries. So most of us, we don't have no interest in going back to whatever our ancestors were doing. I'm wondering if that's what the point of all of this was. Our people, I'm not going to say we're nice. We are everybody says it. We're some of the kindest, most loving people that anybody has ever met, right? They always say that we're so welcoming. We're so this, we're so that. And the funny part is most of us can't trace ourselves back more than a few generations. Like me personally, 3. My great-grandmothers, the end. Or grandmother singular, the end, right? Why? And then when we bring it up, I don't know about people who weren't born in the contiguous United States. This place is a freak show, all right? If you actually come from somewhere with a flag, no matter what it means, you got something that you represent that has some continuity. This place is crazy, right? Our people have been like endure some real unbelievable trauma that could turn your brain to water. It really could, right? And one of them is we don't talk about people, right? We just don't talk about. So who is my great grandmother's mother? They just don't want to talk about it. Even if they know. It's the wildest thing. If you know about this, please chime in and testify, please, right? I always thought maybe there's a reason behind that. And now coming into this knowledge, I'm like, I think I understand. I'm not saying we were as bad as what's going on right now, but we were supposed to be better than that. And it must have been pretty bad for us to be like, for real, put into a crucible and distilled and just reduced to angels. All right. Or elevated to angels, however you want to put it. All right. Yeah, it's really crazy though. They try to make us be something so they can feel better. But it's just like, you know what? Just, I'm just going to let y'all know, all you foreigners that know you ain't supposed to be here and know it's our land. If you just leave us alone, if y'all would have just left us alone, we probably would have never came into this knowledge. But it's the constant abuse and the torture that makes us have to look for a solution, right? And then there's the issue of trying to force a whole nation to live their lives so that cowardly invaders feel better about being cowardly invaders. I know I'm not going to do it, right? You're not supposed to be here, and I want my stuff back, right? I want you to leave, but if you don't want to leave, I have a place for you. You might actually enjoy it, right? But I definitely have a place for you. It ain't going to be in charge. That's not the place you're going to be. So, again, so I'm going to read this out. So what is Moorish behavior? I'm going to wrap it up with this. How does a modern Moor present themselves? Again, back to the instruction from the prophet. Moors, be yourselves. Whoever you are when no one is watching, that's you. If you observe and study self, right? That's another prophecy. You will know well that yourself may be too much for some, if not most, to deal with, right? That's a them problem, not a you problem. Please remember that. Especially if the them is a foreigner. You have no obligation to make somebody you did not invite into your home comfortable, right? Your only obligation is to find out when are you leaving or when are you paying me rent, right? Those are the only 2 things I need to know. Anyway, my thing is, if you want to see a behavior out of people, go home and make those demands. Again, right? Either get with it or get gone. You get with it or you get gone. That kind of thing. It ain't for me to make you comfortable. So, again, that's a them problem. If they want to see a specific behavior, go home. So I say to Moors, be your most abrasive, acrimonious, snarky self to those who deserve it. Okay, don't just be walking around being a butthole, right? Embrace the mantras. I am what you make me, right? Don't start, won't be none. Basics. And see how much less BS you're going to have to deal with, right? Let's see. Eventually your reputation, you'll have to develop a personal reputation. Oh, I love this part. You'll develop a personal reputation of being cool until until people mess with you. Is that you already? You're cool until somebody makes you not cool. And then whose fault is that? I always make sure it's your fault. And then if you do this enough time, hopefully news spreads. And if enough of us do likewise, none of us will ever have to do it again because people will just leave us alone, right? I'm going to just say it. It's like why I will never stay in an establishment run by Hindus again. This is about to get real mean and honest, but it's based on truth and actual experience, okay? I've had a jacked up week, like I said. I'm going to wrap it up with this. This is what I mean about if we start setting certain standards, like, okay, leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Me personally, I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm getting to the point where if you're not a Moor or a Muslim, just don't talk to me because I'm having issues with you being here without my permission. I really am. It's not that you got my stuff or anything. You're just an invader, right? So I want you to leave me alone. I want other Moor. My preference would be for other Moors to make your attention a privilege. All right. One day, Allah willing, I'm going to open up a bookstore where I think I've mentioned this before. You have to pay. You can come in. It's like Starbucks, right? Buy your coffee, sit down. If you want to talk to a Moor, there's a fee for that. They'll sit down and talk to you, but you got to pay them to talk to you because they're special. Let's start doing that right now, right? Be mysterious because other nations are setting standards, right? I'm going to use the Hindus as an example. My week was jacked up because I had to go suddenly scoop somebody up from another state. And I'm like, okay, I was going to come get you next week. But since it's a rush job, I got to cancel everything, including the nice hotel I had reserved because I've learned don't be staying in motels because they're run by the Patel cartel. It's like they're all run by Hindus, right? And I'm like, I'm done with y'all. Why? Because you all had the reputation of having the filthiest nation on earth, which is like, well, I know how the people that the people that establish national reputation, they lie about everybody. They're lying about their own nationality, right? So I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. But anyway, based on my experience, they said you were nasty. And then I stayed in some of your establishments and you're nasty. And then I've watched lots of documentaries because I love in documentaries. And you all are nasty. All right. And when I walk behind, I live in a college town, like down the street. Actually, there's a college there and a college down there, right? So when I go to the store, I encounter your children who don't use deodorant, right? So, and these are the ones that are paid. That's how else are you able to afford to come over here, right? So I stayed in this hotel and it smelled like somebody, it didn't smell like ass. It smelled like somebody who hadn't showered in some days had just sweated all over the sheets. But the bed was made. It was made like an army bed, like you could bounce a quarter off of it. So see how they have a reputation? Like, yep, you established it. I'm done. If only I should have just paid the extra $30-$40 and gone somewhere nicer, but I was in a rush, right? I should have remembered and acknowledged and respected your reputation as the filthiest nation on earth. And now I'm going to stop because I know Instagram probably about to cut me off for saying all that truism. Look it up. I actually looked it up because I was going to leave a review. Like, let me make sure I'm not just like saying some stuff off emotion. Sure enough, I looked it up. What is considered the filthiest nation on earth? India, top of the list. Anyway, y'all have a good night and don't stay at no motels. Pay the money and stay at a hotel. All right. If you see Patel behind the counter, find somewhere else. And that's all I got. This will Moor being herself. All right. And it's 6:50. You got time to get to your meetings. I ain't got no meetings to go to, so I'm about to go read my Quran. Peace and love, Moors. Were some people waiting to get on here? I swear I do not know how to use this thing. Next time, y'all, I'm sorry. I wasn't ignoring you. I do not know how to use this thing. All right. I'm going to learn. But Islam, peace and love. Next week, I'll be here next week if y'all want to jump in. Please do. I'm glad to let y'all. I was wondering why the screen looked like that. My bad. All right. Please absolve me and be patient. All right. Islam Moors, enjoy your happy holy day. And visit all the sites, CalifaMedia.com, riseofthemoors.org, and get all your Moorish news because, it's time for us to start doing stuff. All right. Peace and love and bye-bye, y'all. All right. All right. That was good.